So I've mentioned that one of the ways that the Daimon is described in ceremonial magic circles is they call it the holy guardian angel. And the idea is the holy guardian angel is this daemon-like being that either exists inside of you or outside of you, either as as a part of yourself, of your higher mind, or it's a completely spiritual being. There's a lot of debate as to which it is, but that it comes alongside you and guides you in your decisions. And specifically, it's related to the idea of what ceremonial magicians call the true will. The true will is this idea that each one of us has something that we're supposed to accomplish in our life. Not just a thing we're supposed to accomplish, but a way that we're supposed to live that is true to us. And so, because we're all struggling under capitalism, we sometimes assume that means a job or a vocation, or even a skill we would live into as a way of making money. And it can be that, it can be a part of that, but it can also be just how you relate to other people, what you do every day with your time, how you show up in the world. And I'm not a ceremonial magician. I'm not a Thelemite, which is this idea is something that people who practice Thelema talk about a lot. I'm not one of those things. I've dabbled in it all before, but that is not how I would describe myself. But I find the idea of the true will as a metaphor for how the daemon interacts in your life to be really super helpful. And a while back, when I first was diving into this stuff at the start of the pandemic, like I mentioned, I was thinking a lot about true will and how to determine when you are in your true will, because learning to recognize and capitalize on your daemon or the daemonic presence in your life means learning to recognize, well, when am I kind of traveling in that slipstream of my true will? When am I doing what I was meant to do? And I think the easiest way to determine that is to kind of notice, when do I feel my best? When do I have that feeling like I can't do anything wrong? I am really succeeding at everything. Life is good. And sometimes that's a really easy thing to notice after the fact. And so this is an exercise I would recommend to everybody watching this. Take a piece of paper, divide it into 3 lines: no will, true will, and others will. And it's my assertion that these 3 segments kind of describe any point that you're at in your life. Let me explain. When you're born, when you're little and you haven't been kind of heavily influenced by culture and society, then you could pretty much assume that you're living your true will. And so we all kind of start there. And then at some point, we kind of start swerving all over the road. So maybe you get into high school or college, and you kind of become a stoner and you lose all your motivation in life and you don't really care about anything. Well, in that sense, you kind of swerve over into having no will. You're not motivated by anything at all. But then at some point, you kind of come out of that and you get a job, and this job, you're constantly being told what to do, and you're so consumed with keeping this job that you just do it all. You do whatever they say. And so in those moments, you are operating under others' will. And so then maybe you realize from that job that I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to work for myself, and I want to do my own thing. And you figure out, what is it that I love? And you spend some time pursuing that. And as you pursue that, you line up under your own true will. But then maybe you meet someone, you meet a romantic, or you go into a romantic relationship, and then you become really consumed with making that other person happy, and you kind of subvert your own will to theirs. And so you go back into here. And then maybe that relationship breaks up. And when that relationship breaks up, you just decide everything is meaningless. And so you don't care about life. You don't care about achieving or anything. So you end up back here under no will. And so as you can see, I think you can look back over your life and recognize where were the points where I was kind of staying in here. Where did I feel like I was really being who I'm supposed to be? When were the times where I was using my unique, specific skills to achieve, and where I felt like I was really succeeding at stuff? And looking at this, you may be like, well, you know, this isn't so bad because, you know, right here, when I moved from no will to other's will, I spent some time in true will. And here from no will to other will, I was in true will. And I would say, don't get too excited about that, because this represents lateral movement. So yes, when you're over here operating with no will and you overcorrect and start operating by somebody else's will, there's a little expression of your own will that gets you from here to here, but it's lateral. You're only there for the briefest amount of time that it takes you to correct. And the same with each of these. You're not looking for lateral movement in this space. You're looking for vertical movement. You're looking for as much vertical movement as you can achieve. And so I personally sat down and I looked at my adult life and said, where were the times where I really felt like I was on fire, or I was accomplishing something, or I was getting things done, and determined, did those activities, did that time represent my true will? Because, you know, you could feel like you were getting something done working somebody else's job, and maybe you are, but you also have to ask yourself, am I here by my will? Am I enacting my will? And it could be that working a job for somebody else gives you the money to pursue, gives you the air cover to pursue what you're trying to accomplish in the world. So working for someone else doesn't necessarily have to mean you're operating under the other's will. You can operate under your own, but you just kind of need to look at your overall, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And I think you'll see pretty quickly, you're either coming from a place of no will, true will, or others' will. And I would suggest that when you are operating under your own true will, that's where you have opened yourself up to the influence of your daimon, of your higher self. And this isn't a judgment against people who are living with no will or under others' will. If we talked, it's a little bit of a judgment. I think everybody would be happier here, and I think the world would be a better place here. But it's really easy for all of us to operate from no will and from others' will. That's just the human condition. So my recommendation to everybody is figure out what this looks like in your life, what it feels like, and try to recreate that as much as possible. Okay, sounds good. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.